Yeah, and hopefully for the Tigers, this doesn't signal some bad deja vu. Saw a couple of errors in the first inning of that first game, cost them a couple runs in the top of the first frame.
So now all of a sudden the 3-hole hitter, Arias. This is his 30th appearance of the season. He's hitting .330 coming into the weekend. Also a .540 slugging. Takes ball one high. TLU hoping for a similar start that they had to yesterday's game, opening up a 2-0 lead in the top of the first against the Friday night starter for Trinity, Joseph Shavana. Tier fires strike one. TLU now facing Trinity's other ace, Jackson Tier. So far having similar success. Pitch away, 2-1.
It's not something we see too often with Jackson Tier having this kind of traffic on the base paths early on. Usually it's pretty clean, but TLU's been carrying their hot bats to this game.
Base traffic not usually something we see from Tier at all. Only 6 walks allowed on the year, 3 total earned runs. Reaches out to bunt. Called a strike, but runner moves over to second, so now 2 in scoring position for the Bulldogs.
And it's good not to throw to second there. Runner on third, very quick. Could have been sent home if Lazara had tried to get the runner at second.
Foul back near us, and it's 2-2. Vasquez waits on third, Kesselring on second after the stolen base. Arias trying to bring him home. Way high, 3-2.
Right now, the big number on the board is the lack of an out in this top of the first inning. TLU has quite the steady hand to play with.
A walk loads the bases. Grounded to short. Baker holds the runner, throws to first. They get the out.
It's just what the Tigers need there. Just need to get that first out of the game. Give Tier a bit more confidence on the mound. Still not the best situation. Still sacrifice fly situation for the Bulldogs. But just a little bit better for Tier and the Tigers.
Now Adam Peavy, the cleanup hitter, went 0 for his first 4 yesterday. Let's see if he gets off to a better start in this one. Take strike one. You know, it's interesting, Reed. Tier and Shavana almost peer opposite. Shavana lives in these situations with runners on. Tier, not a lot of experience with it. We'll see how he handles himself. Pitch away, 1-1.
Yeah, Shavana certainly used to the traffic, but for TLU, the game plan's all the same. Get through the Tiger ace, get runs across, and hopefully let your starting pitching do the rest.
Pitch away, 2-1. One out on the board, runners on second and third. Swing and a miss, strike 2. There's that devastating slider.
Yeah, great location. Had him swinging out of his shoes. See if he goes back to it here.
Popped up, out of play. So we'll do it again. The opportunity for Adam Peavy to give his team the lead. This is his 30th start of the year. Came into the weekend hitting .320. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The slider again, and there's 2 outs on the board.
And that is just, it's his money pitch. That slider has gotten so many great batters. In fact, he got 20 of them in the Whitewater game near the beginning of the season. Jackson Tier with 2 outs on the board now in a much more favorable position than he was a couple outs ago.
Now the 5-hole hitter, Carson Drain, playing in right today. He takes ball 1. Drain, a senior, came into the weekend hitting .241, on base percentage of .333. Works with 2 on and 2 down in the inning. Takes ball 2 high.
And that was a good pitch from Tier. That was a great location. Just barely missing the zone. No shame in missing there.
Fouled off into the screen, brings it to 2-1.
The good thing about having this situation is you really put the pressure on Drain now to bring a runner in, whereas a couple batters ago you had no outs on the board, not as much pressure.
Swing and a miss, strike 2. You know, Reed, in most situations with runners on first and third, or runners on second and third, you would think not the worst idea to walk the batter, but Tyler Post waiting on deck do not want to give him an opportunity with the bases loaded. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off, stays alive.
Yeah, certainly not Tier and Post. It's an interesting matchup, but I'm sure one that Jackson Tier does not want to see in the first inning with bases loaded.
Would love him to be the leadoff man in the next half inning with nobody on. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Tier gets out of it, and he's fired up already. A 0 on the board for the Bulldogs. The Tigers up to bat when we come back. Bottom of the first in San Antonio. You see the Tigers lineup on your screen. Pretty similar to yesterday. Peterson in the leadoff spot, followed by Woodward, the catcher Lazara. Christian Holloway at first base, Alex Monson, then Colt Harris, Kai Tinker at third, then Jack Baker in the 8-hole, and Maddox McDonald, the only new entry into today's lineup. And pitching for TLU, it is JT Taylor. First pitch outside, ball 1. Taylor's already made a couple starts for TLU this season. This is his 10th. Comes in with a 4-2 record, a 3.19 ERA. Swing and a miss, strike 1 for Peterson. Taylor also has a complete game on his chart through 9 innings in the 2-0 loss to St. Thomas. So who knows? We may see back-to-back.
Yeah, I'm a little bit shocked that you didn't say Brendan Beard was on the mound again, given what he did yesterday, 161 pitches. It would be quite the performance to follow up for JT Taylor.
Just misses, and it's 3-1.
And, of course, with Peterson, don't want to walk him because of his dangerous speed on the base paths.
And he doesn't yet. Peterson was ready to flip the bat. But the count now full.
Yeah, seemed pretty confident on that take. But now, penultimate.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. First strikeout of the day for JT Taylor, and there's 1 down in the inning.
Perhaps a sigh of relief. You don't have to deal with Peterson on the base paths. Although the Tigers really didn't try to steal at all yesterday when they did get base runners on. So be interested to see how that strategy has changed today.
Woodward pulls back the bunt for strike 1. It was very interesting. Normally you see at least a few times the runner on first, and really any situation the Tigers will feel free to send them, but not really the case. A couple of hit and runs, but other than that, nothing. Woodward takes ball 1.
And we've seen Woodward get on base a couple times with the bunt, so it makes sense that he flashes it here. It's going to be difficult because of how good of fielders the Bulldogs are.
Hit in the air to left. And it's gone! It kept carrying over the high wall in left field, and it's 1-0 Trinity, a solo shot from the first year, Caleb Woodward.
Yeah, and you're right. It kept on carrying. Off the bat, I thought it was going to go off the wall, but the wind, as strong as it is, kept blowing and blowing and just off the top. And it will be in that little alleyway between the wall and the pool now. Another home run for Caleb Woodward.
Kept slicing and carrying. I was waiting for it to fall. It did not. Off the high part of the wall in left field, off that cutout. And it's 1-0 Trinity, their first run of the series as the catcher Nick Lazara up. Lazara hitting well over 300, 374 coming into today's action, making his 28th start of the season. Pitch misses, it's 2-0. It's already a very different start today from yesterday. Trinity with the 1-0 lead. Strike called.
Good location on that pitch, but you know, Woodward, at first glance, you may not think he's the kind of guy to hit a home run. More of a speed threat, but he's got power.
Line to right, and it falls. Back-to-back knocks for the Tigers. Lazara thought about 2 up to the bobble in the outfield, but he's content with a single as he's aboard with 1 down in the inning.
Now, this is what the Tigers want. Yesterday, they did not see Beard well at all. Had just 2 hits. Most of the time they were on base, it was because Beard was giving them free passes based on hit by pitches or by walks. So seeing Taylor much better here early on in the makings of this game.
Cleanup hitter Christian Holloway up. Works with the runner on first, 1 down in the inning. Takes strike 1. The home run from Woodward, the second of his career. What he and many others around this organization and this program hope will be the second of many. A 1 pitch. Outside.
That's a good challenge by Taylor there, attacking that outer part of the plate. Really good take by Holloway. Ball broke outside almost at the last moment.
Now the 1-1. Misses, nearly got away. Good job by Green.
And it's something we saw yesterday, too. Chance Green doesn't let too many balls get by him. He was the one who committed the 1 Bulldog error, but I think forgivable the situation he was in to commit it.
Hit in the air. Maybe playable for post. And it is out number 2.
And a good job tracking it by post. Of course, with the wind, makes pop-ups very dangerous because the ball can just be blown in a direction you don't expect at any moment. But post, good with the bat, good fielder as well. Gets that out for the Bulldogs.
Now the DH, Alex Monson. 2 outs and a runner on first for him. He takes strike 1. Monson has really found a role in this DH position, especially when righties are on the mound. A reliable lefty bat. Outside, 1-1.
And Monson, I'm sure, looking to have a better day today. One of a handful of Tiger bats that was unable to reach via a hit. Looking to see Taylor better than he did Beard.
Inside ball 2. Already a much better start today. Trinity only mustering, I believe it was 3 hits all of yesterday. Already 2 and a run. Throw back to first, not in time to get Lazara. Monson a 3-1 count. Second baseman Colt Harris waits on deck. Sort of a weak pickoff attempt. Maybe just trying to buy time.
My timer, if you remember yesterday, the Tigers kept checking on Green over and over again, making him work.
Strike called, outside corner.
Just making Lazara a bit more tired before he heads back out behind the dish. Maybe they're worried about the hit and run.
Full count, 2 down in the inning. Line to right, it falls. Lazara stops at second. And it's a 2-out knock for Alex Monson.
The Tigers keep hitting and keep hitting now. They've been very effective seeing Taylor early on. Now Taylor just having trouble settling in. Has 2 outs on the board. Or yesterday, the Bulldogs were 2-out merchants. Tigers looking to be the same here.
Trinity, their first hit with 2 outs on the day. Didn't tally one yesterday. Colt Harris takes strike 1.
And not only did they not tally a hit with 2 outs, didn't tally a hit with runners in scoring position either.
Very costly in yesterday's game, led to a goose egg on the scoreboard in the 5-0 loss. Just outside, doesn't get the call. Seems like so far today that outside edge not getting calls. That inside edge may be a little open for business. Harris ahead of it and out of play.
Yeah, it's always interesting with umpires where the zone boundaries will be, but it's something that as a batter and as a pitcher, the dynamic you have to work with. I think what is interesting, 3 umpire crew today. I believe we only had 2 yesterday.
Yeah, only 2 yesterday. That's usually how it is here in Division III games, but the full 3-man crew today. Grounded down the third base line, foul. Or I shouldn't say the full 3-man crew. Normally it would be 4, but we'll call that a full 3-man crew here in a Division III context.
Somebody scrambling out of the bullpen to make a play on the foul ball. Couldn't quite catch who it was, but tumbled in trying to get it.
Grounded, third base, and they'll take the force there to end the inning. But not before Trinity strikes first. It's 1-0 due to the Caleb Woodward solo home run. We'll head to the top of the second on Tiger Network. Welcome back to the top of the second here at 1 Trinity Place in San Antonio, Texas. The wind continues to rip here in the Alamo City, blowing out dead center in the ballpark, and maybe not the time for that to happen for Jackson Tier as he faces his old nemesis and friend Tyler Post. Strike one, and you might be wondering what I mean by that. Well, these two went to high school together. They played on the same baseball team at Johnson High School in San Antonio, both locals. Did he go? No. And it's 1-1. But these two conference rivals, they met last year in Seguin, and Tyler Post got the better of Tier, homering off of him twice. Swing and a miss, strike two. Outside 2-2. So, Reed, when I say that Tier maybe would want the wind to be blowing out of the ballpark at any other time than this one, I think that's a fair statement.
I think it is too.
Fouled off, we'll do it again at 2-2.
And for Post, slower start to the year than last year, but, I mean, you can just look at him in the box. He is an imposing threat every time he comes up to bat.
Swing and a miss, strike three. Another strikeout on the day for Jackson Tier. He gets his old high school teammate, and there's one down in the inning.
And Tier just working it again. He is a strikeout magnet sometimes, and it's very frustrating for batters to go up and have to deal with the breaking ball, a good velo fastball as well.
Strike one to Bourgeois, in at short today. The Tier, definitely a strikeout magnet, and you saw the numbers in the open. Also 20 in the same game against the University of Wisconsin Whitewater. After he struck out Post, that was his third consecutive of this game. He's recorded strikeouts in 3 of the 4 possible outs so far. Outside edge, no call, and it's 2-1.
Really good take by Bourgeois. Seen many batters swing at a pitch at that location over the course of the season.
Check swing called strike, 2-2.
And it's just that slide piece from Tier, so dangerous for a batter. Invisible slider. It's a killer.
Swing and a miss, that's strike three. 4 in a row for Jackson Tier. 2 down in the inning.
And it's another breaking ball. Gets another Bulldog swinging. When Jackson Tier really gets in a groove, it is hard to even make contact sometimes. But these Bulldogs are going to have to regroup, get their information, and when they round to the top of the batting order again, see what they'll do differently next time around.
Godot up for TLU. He takes ball 1. Playing in left today. All 3 outfielders for TLU having what you called web gems. I think that's a good way to put it. Gold glove caliber plays for all 3 outfielders for the Bulldogs. Takes ball 2. Godot now trying to make an impact offensively. Getting his team out of a rut. Jackson Tier seems to have found something in this game so far. Pitch away, 3-0.
And they're working his pitch count pretty well so far. It's already north of 30. Unlike Beard, I'm not sure Tier could go 161 pitches in a game.
Ball 4. So he loses Godot, a 4-pitch walk. Only the 7th walk handed out all season by Jackson Tier.
Yeah, and Tier just attacking that outside edge, not getting those calls, and not provoking a swing that he usually does. So good patience. Get on base, pass it on to the next guy, get something going.
Third base runner of the game for TLU, and it sets up the 9-hole hitter, Chance Green, the catcher. Working with 2 down and a runner on first. Trying to work that outside edge, but just misses. Mentioned it yesterday, Green, not a regular to start the year, but he's played the last handful of games for TLU. Seems to have found his role as the main starting catcher for the Bulldogs. Strike 1.
Yeah, put that one right over the plate for a strike. And Green yesterday getting the better of Shabana 2 times. Really raising that batting average that he really wants to raise.
Strike 2. Green came into this game hitting around 150, but that has spiked since then. One-two pitch. In the dirt, but he swung. Lazara throws to first. That finishes the job. 1, 2, 3, all down by way of the K for Jackson Tier. He struck out 5 in a row as we head to the bottom of the 2nd in San Antonio. JT Taylor back on the hill for TLU, and he'll face a third baseman leading off this inning, Kai Tinker. Tinker, a mainstay for Trinity, hitting .280 on the year. This is his 30th appearance of the season, and he takes strike 1. Grounded up the middle. Play made at second by Vasquez, and 1 down in the inning.
Yeah, good play by Vasquez. Not an easy play at all. able to spear the ball at the second base position, get Tinker out, prevents a Tiger base runner, and once again, you can see why the Bulldogs, they're the #1 fielding team in the SCAC for a reason.
Now the shortstop, Jack Baker, hitting 8th today. He takes ball 1. Baker missed last week's action against Austin College with an illness, but now back in the starting lineup. Takes a strike, hitting .275 on the year. Way high, 2-1.
Can remember yesterday, Baker hit a shot in the left field that may have prevented the shutout, but just foul.
Popped up. Playable. And Green makes the catch for out number 2.
A good play by Bulldog catcher, making sure to call off everybody, get the catch himself. Great tracking because he had to range quite a ways from his catching position to make that pop-up play.
Now the 9-hole hitter, Maddox McDonald, making his first appearance since he got knocked out with an injury. And no call. Looked like a good pitch. I think Green in some disbelief.
Yeah, that was a very good pitch. Curious to see what that one looked like.
Misses 2-0. It looked like he was hanging onto the baseball for an extra 2 seconds, just giving the ump like more time to think about it and point the finger, but no. Now 3-0.
Yeah, and right now, hard going times for Taylor. 3-0 count to another Tiger who's certainly capable on the base paths.
Strike 1, so he won't walk him here. McDonald comes into this game hitting .356. On base percentage of .434. You talk about capable on the base paths. He's 9 for 11 on stolen base attempts. And he might get a chance here. Ball 4. He'll head to first base.
Yeah, good one for McDonald. Get himself on base. Maybe tough luck for Taylor and Green that they put some good pitches, perhaps in the zone, but sometimes the umpire disagrees.
Flips the order as Jack Peterson, the leadoff man, up. Works with 2 down, or 1 down and a runner on second. Strike 1, that runner actually on first, though he might be at second soon. We'll see. They've sent Maddox McDonald 11 times. Still have yet to steal or attempt to. They've tried some hit and runs, but in this series, they've been hesitant to swipe a bag. They'll check on him, back safely at first. Peterson 0 for 1 in this game. He struck out in the first.
Certainly McDonald, not a bad person to check up on from time to time. Always got to be worried about the hit and run, especially when you do have a fast base runner like McDonald on base and a capable hitter in Peterson.
Now 1-1. Runner on first, 2 down in the inning. Check on him again. The scoreboard out here in left field and our graphic differing, though the graphic seems to be right. 2 down in the inning. Runner goes. Throw to second. Very wild into center field, and McDonald's going to third. He gets there easily. A steal and an error for TLU.
Yeah, and that throw inside almost being trouble as well. And the first time we get to see Green's arm going to second base, maybe just not expecting a steal considering how conservative the Tigers played yesterday. But we saw something similar where throw attempt to second base on a pickoff. Went into center field, gave the runner an extra base. Tigers got to use this opportunity to their advantage.
We'll see if Peterson can do that. 2-1. Swing and a miss. Evens the count at 2 apiece.
Of course, Peterson, powerful hitter as well. Of course, neither of us would be surprised if he left the park.
There's strike 3. Taylor gets out of it, and that ends the inning. Still 1-0 Trinity. We head to the top of the third on Tiger Network. Top of the third in the Alamo City. Some cloud cover for us. Was not too hot considering what it can be here in San Antonio, but not comfortable at the same time as the lineup flips over for TLU. It's Vasquez. Singled the first time he was up. He takes strike 1. But a welcomed cloud blocking the sun for now. Outside, 1-1.
It's a fair day out here. I think temperature is in the 80s at this point. It certainly doesn't feel like it since we have a nice breeze blowing on the top of the Bell Center.
A nice breeze is a way to describe that. I would go more with a ripping wind than a nice breeze, but you know, there are multiple ways to look at that. Pitch in the dirt evens the count at 2-2.
I'm a more glass half full kind of guy, so take it where I can get them.
Grounded to Baker at short. Strong throw across his body in time for out number 1.
And the slider and breaking balls that Tier does throw, not only generating strikeouts, but generating that kind of weak contact so Baker can make that play. Excellent throw from Jack Baker.
We've seen a few of those already from him this season. It's Hayden Kesselring up to bat with 1 down in the inning. Reached base in the first. They credit it with an error on Nick Lazara. Was marked as a hit at first, but then they changed it, giving a throwing error to the Tigers catcher. Tier ahead, 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Tier working really well against Kesselring. Of course, with the wind, got to be careful in every situation now.
didn't go, 1-2.
Weather radar read that about 18 to 20 mile per hour wind gusts here in San Antonio.
I buy it. Pitch misses, 2-2. The flag's now going more to left field, still in. They've been moving in all different directions today. Check swing, didn't go again. Lazera with his arms out, he can't believe it, but brings the count full, 3-2.
Not only can he not believe it, but I think every Tiger in the dugout can't believe it either. Very big reaction. See on the replay.
There's strike 3, got him looking at the top of the zone. Another strikeout for Jackson Tier, 2 down in the inning.
Yeah, Tier finally putting him away. Perhaps maybe a makeup call for questionable check swings, but either way, that's the second out of the inning.
Yeah, Kesselring didn't look too happy with that one as he headed back to the dugout. First pitch to Arias, ball 1. Grounded out to short the last time he was up. Still one of the most dangerous batters in this lineup. Swing and a miss. Grounded to short. Baker's there. In time, a 1-2-3 inning for Jackson Tier. Still 1-0 Trinity. Will head to the bottom of the third on Tiger Network. Don't go anywhere. Bottom of the third here in San Antonio. The sun is back out in full force, and so is Caleb Woodward coming off a solo shot to left, giving his team a 1-0 lead, which they still hold. First pitch from Taylor, in for strike 1. A rough first inning for Taylor, giving up 3 hits, including the home run, but he seemed to settle down in the next half inning, allowing the 1 walk. Pitch misses, ball 1.
That's what you want to see from your day 2 starter in Taylor. Of course, Beard has given you your entire bullpen to work with.
Hit in the air. Shallow left. And the catch is made by Godot for out number 1.
That fly ball. Great tracking it from the outfielders for TLU. Of course, yesterday we saw a ball similar, but just lost it. So it's something that still happens. And with the sun shining like it is, always have to have your sunglasses prepared.
Catcher Nick Lazera up for the second time today. He's 1 for 1 with the base hit. Takes strike 1. Reed, an important inning for Taylor. These pitch counts for both of these starting pitchers getting a little out of hand.
Yeah, certainly. For Taylor, almost nearing the 50 pitch count. Jackson Tier at 60. It has been very effective at working counts for both sides.
Lazera continues to do it there, brings it to 2-1.
And perhaps maybe a shallower strike zone than both pitchers are used to. Maybe contributing to that as well.
Fouled off, evens the count at 2-2. Good crowd for game 2. Middle of the day, Saturday. However, first scan, I do not see Frank. Nick Lazera's French Bulldog was not in attendance yesterday. I don't know if Mr. Lazera brought him out today or not. So Lazera grounds that to second, 2 down in the inning. But I told Mr. Lazera, I said, really, you're not going to bring Frank for the Bulldog game?
Why not? Maybe it's a bit too hot for Frank.
Maybe. That'd be my guess.
Sometimes you do see dogs out in the ballpark. It's one of the good things about being Division III. Really no pet restrictions here.
Holloway takes ball 1. Yeah, 2 weekends ago, when we had our last weekend series against St. Thomas, saw 3 at one time. Jackson Tier's dog, I don't see him. Lazera hits it to right. The catch made. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Taylor. Still 1-0 Trinity on top. We'll head to the top of the 4th on Tiger Network. Top of the 4th in San Antonio. Jackson Tier out there for his 4th inning of work, and he faces the designated hitter, Adam Peavy. Peavy, a strikeout victim of Tier's in the 1st.
And Tier, you mentioned the pitch count already. Not the type of guy like Beer to go 161 pitches, so count gets too high for Tier. Certainly see a replacement on the mound eventually.
Last pitch landed for a strike. It's 1-1. Hit hard to right. Back at the wall. Foul.
Yeah, dangerous shot on the right field. Just got to line it up a bit better if you're PV, but he's got some mad strength.
Thought about it. Doesn't go. It's 2-2.
And we can really feel the wind picking back up again, so certainly a factor Tier has to take into account.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Strikes out Peavy for the 2nd time today. And there's 1 out on the board.
On Jackson Tier, once again, he's doing it again, Cole. We've seen so many times where he'll just go strike out, strike out, strike out, strike out. And it's amazing to see every time.
Now Carson Drain up. One out, nobody on, takes a pitch away. Important at bat, because once again, that man, Tyler Post, waits on deck, and not a guy you want to face with runners on. 2 outs, nobody on, the perfect situation to face Tyler Post.
And for Tier, we mentioned reigning SCAC Pitcher of the Year. Has some competition this year. Obviously, you saw yesterday with Brendan Beard, but Cody Myers over at Centenary. Another dog on the mound. It's going to be very fierce competition for that award this year.
Fierce competition last year within his own team. Cade McGahan also with incredible numbers. Pitch lands for a strike, makes it 3-1. And then Joseph Shavana, I think, probably deserves a shout out to be in the mix for that award. Delayed, called strike. It's 3-2. Drain through the bat. He has to go get it.
And Drain not happy with the call. I think having some words with the umpire. Voicing his frustration.
Full count pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 8th strikeout of the day for Jackson Tier. And there's 2 down in the inning.
Yeah, and that one's going to hurt a little bit more for Drain. You think you just got to walk, a free pass, and then, first of all, it's a strike actually, and then you strike out. You got to be frustrating heading back to the dugout.
And now here's the matchup. 2 down, nobody on. Tyler Post and Jackson Tier. Take strike 1. Talking to Jackson Tier before yesterday's game, he said there were 2 games on the schedule he was very excited for. It was Babson, really the only game last season where he got roughed up. And it was his matchup against Tyler Post, his old high school teammate who took him deep twice in last season's meeting. Excited for a chance at redemption. In the dirt, 1-2.
It's always fun when we get to see players play their former teammates, because who do you know better than someone you've already played on a team with?
Grounded to Harris at second. That ends the inning. 1-2-3 for Jackson Tier. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th in San Antonio. 1-0. Trinity leads TLU. Bottom of the 4th here in San Antonio. DH Alex Monson takes ball 1. Monson 1 for 1 today with a base hit. See if he can repeat performance in his first at bat. Take strike 1.
And Taylor still working out there for the Bulldogs. Pitch count has crested 50. Still going strong.
Lined to second. And the play made by Vasquez for out number 1.
And that's the second great play we've seen from Vasquez today over at the second base position. Just all of these fielders so sound in how they play and how they approach the ball. It's really quite a sight to behold.
Second baseman Colt Harris up. 0 for 1, grounded into a fielder's choice. Trinity working with a 1-0 lead. I've talked about the inconsistency from this offense. They scored 20 runs against McMurray in the Tuesday game, tallying 24 hits, their most since 2017, and then no runs to speak of in last night's game, only 3 hits. I guess the one positive to take away is that, and this might be a negative in some circumstances, but no earned runs allowed last night. Allowed 5 runs, all of them off errors, which negative from the fielding perspective, but you're pitching able to keep you in games as Harris swings at that and strikes out.
And man, Taylor is really starting to work it now. Great pitch to get Harris swinging. And yeah, no earned runs. It's quite odd. Certainly thought at least one of them was earned, but it's one of the funny things about baseball is if you as a pitcher make an error, that run becomes unearned and doesn't go against your ERA.
Tinker takes strike 1. 0 for 1 today, grounded out to second the last time he was up. There's strike 2.
Beautiful breaking ball. I mean, he's just been going after the Tigers with these breaking balls, and Trinity has, as of yet, been able to respond.
Just outside, 1 and 2.
Yeah, and a really good sequence. Slow breaking, then a faster ball.
Fouled off, we'll do it again. Trinity with 3 hits on the night, or on the day. All of them coming in the first inning, nothing since then. Trying to get their offense back to where they were to start this game. In the dirt, 2 and 2.
And with the 2s on the board for Tinker, he reached base yesterday. It was the one error the Bulldogs made.
Two pitch. Check swing, but it's a called strike 3. J.T. Taylor. 3 consecutive scoreless innings, keeping this at 1-0. We head to the top of the 5th on Tiger Network. Top of the 5th in the Alamo City. Jackson Tier back on the mound to face the bottom of the TLU order. as he hits the 7-hitter Bourgeois. So a quick trip to first base for TLU.
Yeah, certainly not how you want to start any inning, especially bottom of the order. Give a free base runner. Tier has already worked with traffic on the bases today. Have to work with it again in this one.
First base runner he's allowed since he walked the man up now, Godot. Godot hitting well over 300 at 359. Try and add to that average. Cuts at that one, 0-1. Hit in the air, hard to right. McDonald over to make the catch, 1 down.
And McDonald has to cover quite a bit of ground to make that play. That is great speed, able to get him there in time. Keeps the runner at first. If that one falls, that is certainly dangerous.
Now it brings up the 9-hole hitter, Chance Green. Green 0 for 1, a strikeout victim of Tier the last time he was up. But Maddox McDonald had just made that catch. One of many Trinity Tigers coming back from injury. The Tigers have been banged up, what seems like all year. Just look at the players back in the lineup. McDonald out in right. Christian Holloway currently at first base. Ty Preston, who played in last night's game in left field. And Jackson Tier on the mound, all of which missed some time with injury, now back. Outside, 1-1.
Yeah, it's good to see whenever a player does return from being hurt. It's just something that goes along with the season. Players are just going to get hurt sometimes, and when they do come back and make good impacts, always a joy to see.
High, 2-1.
It's an interesting dynamic between Chance Green and Jackson Tier. Green, 9-hole hitter, really more of a defensive specialist behind the plate. Sometimes you just got to take a chance on Green.
Locates that pitch, 2-2. I see what you did there, Chance. Very nice. 1 down, runner on first. Fouled off, we'll do it again.
More astute viewers would know. I did. It's a double reference in one.
Now the 2-2. Swing and a miss, that's strike 3. 9th strikeout of the game for Jackson Tier, and there's 2 away in the inning.
And once again, just attack, and then that breaking ball is just wiped out away many batters today. It's been difficult goings for the Bulldogs.
Nick Lazaro come out to meet with his pitcher. Neither Dave Smith nor Tim Scannell coming out of the dugout, so this is just a one-on-one session.
And I don't see anybody working in the Tiger bullpen right now. Yeah, just a conversation. Yeah, the reference from Chance Green was good song by ABBA, Take a Chance on Me.
Trying to Janselson this thing.
I learned from the best.
Leadoff man Vasquez up. Takes ball 1. Vasquez 1 for 2. Singled this first time up and grounded out to second the last time. Swing and a miss, strike 1.
Tier's been working well with the runner at first, constantly at his back. Seemingly not pressured.
Grounded foul. And it's 1-2. Good job by Lazaro. You always have to check We saw it yesterday with Kai Tinker, just barely fair. Now the count 1-2. Runner goes, and Tier, very alert, now in a pickle. And they get the out. Caught stealing ends the inning. As we head to the bottom of the fifth, we're halfway through this one, still 1-0 Tier through 5 scoreless innings on Tiger Network. Welcome back. Bottom of the fifth in San Antonio, and you see on your screen TLU not very happy with what happened in the last half inning. Coach Kyle Palmer still arguing with the umpires. They wanted a balk call on Jackson Tier, who was able to spin off his backside and throw to second. They got Bourgeois trying to steal.
You can see Tier coming set, and the turnaround to throw. TLU having grievances with that. What they felt was a balk.
And Coach Palmer still arguing with the official.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. He's been out there for quite a while.
And he will now head back. Was out there the entirety of the half inning, or the break between innings, arguing his case, but the change not made. Jack Baker set to lead things off for Trinity. 0-for-1, flew out to the catcher Green the last time he was up. First pitch inside, ball 1.
And I can certainly see the grievance. It did look like Tier did come set to pitch.
Ball 2.
I think both sides have had grievances with various calls today.
Tough break for TLU. We'll see how they respond. Baker rips that to left. And the catch is made on the warning track for out number 1.
A good power by Baker. Just barely missed it. Not the right launch angle. Saw him launch one over the wall foul. Have to come back and try again next time, though.
Now Maddox McDonald up. He walked the first time he was up. Also stole a base. See what he does this time up. McDonald is the 9-hole hitter. Takes strike 1 on the inside edge. High, ball 2. McDonald coming in his first year with Trinity. Another person who had his first year with Trinity this season. Third base coach Joey Deering, also the hitting coach for the Tigers. Worked at TLU for the past 6 years. First year there, they went to the World Series in 2019. Has been there every year since until now. Said his favorite part of the job was watching the class that came in after the 2019 World Series grow up and mature. Pitch in the dirt gets away, but no harm done, nobody on. Said that 2019 class that made the World Series was so senior-led. They all graduated, this new class of freshmen came in, and then you just got to see them grow and mature. You got to spend 5 whole years with them because of COVID. McDonald fouls that one off to stay alive. But it's so interesting, the connections all throughout this Trinity roster to TLU.
And it makes the games just that much more. It's always a great series when these two teams get together.
McDonald lines that to the gap in right field. Good play by Kesselring to get in front of it. Holds McDonald to 1, but it's a 1-out knock for the right fielder.
Yeah, that's the first hit since the first inning for the Tigers. Try to do something with the base runner. It's a good base runner to have on as the wind continues to pick up. My laptop almost blew away from me.
There's a lot of good defensive plays made on the field, but I don't think any were better than you saving your laptop.
It's expensive. I needed to save it.
Peterson tries to drop down a bunt. It goes foul. But another connection between TLU and Trinity. Ty Preston, who's not in the lineup today, was playing left field yesterday, making his return from injury. His mom, dad, and uncle all went to TLU together. His mom and dad met at TLU. His dad played basketball. His uncle played baseball. The TLU and Trinity, close ties all throughout. Strike 2 to Peterson.
Yeah, there's a lot of connections. Just the proximity between TLU over in Seguin, only an hour and a half away from San Antonio, major metropolitan area, provides a lot of connections.
McDonald dives back safely. TLU and Trinity's history against each other very recent, though. TLU not moving into the SCAC until around 2010. That's when these two teams started facing off against each other quite a bit. They send the runner, ball in the dirt, no chance. McDonald steals the base standing up, and there's a runner in scoring position with 1 down.
And another connection, I believe. Now, alumni Brian Jenselson, his brother, I believe, went to TLU.
Yes, Danny Anselson played for TLU. Thought about coming to Trinity, but eventually decided on TLU. Peterson takes a ball in the dirt to even the count at 2 apiece. Brian telling me that Coach Scannell's up front with them, said, hey, you're not going to be able to play here really until your junior or senior year. And then TLU coach at the time gave him a handwritten letter asking him to come to Texas Lutheran. That's what really got the job done. Fouled off, will do it again at 2-2. But I got to go to Seguin, watch Trinity play TLU last year with the Anselson family, and that was such a special experience, seeing what that place meant to them, his mom and dad having so many good memories there. Tigers unfortunately falling in that game, but still a very cool experience going to Seguin and seeing that ballpark. As Peterson continues to work this at-bat, 2-2 once again.
Yeah, it's a nice ballpark up there. I've only been up there to see softball play a couple of times. Do want to see a baseball game up there eventually.
My favorite thing that they do for their baseball games is anytime there's a change made by the opposing team, they play the song Who Could It Be Now?
It's a good choice.
Peterson takes strike 3. He heads to the dugout with his 3rd strikeout of the game, the dreaded hat trick, and there's 2 outs on the board.
I think you heard JT Taylor shout emphatically, let's go, as Peterson is sent back to the dugout for the 3rd time today with a K. He is really settled in now. Still acting like there's not even a runner on second right now.
Now Caleb Woodward It was counted for the only Tiger run of the game, the only run of the game, period. They throw off the backside. McDonald dives back safely. Woodward, his second home run of the year, made it 1-0 in the first inning. Nothing since then for either side. But JT Taylor has really settled in. Coach Palmer telling me he's one of their most consistent pitchers that they've had from day one. Said he overcomes and competes, and I think that's exactly what he's done today. As Woodward grounds that through the right side, McDonald being waved around, he'll score easily. 2 RBI day for Caleb Woodward. It's 2-0 Trinity.
And what a special first year. When you need him, he answers. Johnny on the spot, brings in the second run. He has been the one to drive in all the runs for the Tigers today. And in such a pitcher's duel right now, every run just feels that much more important.
Need a run? Call 1-800-WOODWARD. As now Nick Lazara up. 2 down in the first year on first base. And looks like we're going to have a chat. Chance Green and Coach Palmer all headed out along with the rest of the infield. Talked about how much JT Taylor's really settled in. The first inning so rough, gave up 3 hits, including the home run. But since then, only the 2 in this inning. Currently in his 5th inning of work. And we'll see if this is just a chat or a change. We've seen the full infield meeting yesterday with Brendan Beard. It was not a change, even though we were almost certain at 120 pitches at that point that the change would be made.
Yeah, we certainly were. Right now, Taylor at 84 pitches, roughly. So, still, very high pitch count. I'm not sure Taylor's stamina and how many pitches he can go. It'd be hard-pressed to say he could go 160, but I think we were in that same boat yesterday with Beard, so who knows?
Coach Palmer talking about his time at Belhaven, where he was before he came to his alma mater, TLU, saying he had a sidearm, and he was criticized a little bit for how much he threw him, but he just felt that he could do it. As that's fouled off, Tigers trying to execute the hit and run. Woodward will have to go back. But he's had that experience saying, hey, if the pitcher can do it, why are we going to subscribe to this magic number of 100? We'll do it until he can't go anymore. Until that velocity drops, until something tells me to take him out of the game. And I think that's the strategy that we're seeing again today.
Yeah, it's a far cry from the modern MLB today, where pitchers seldom go even 7 innings now.
Of course, baseball all throughout having problems with pitchers and their injuries. Based on what I've been hearing, that's more of a systemic issue all the way through. Trying to get these pitchers to throw maximum effort on every pitch. As Woodward caught in between. And they get him on the tag to end the inning. But Woodward adds an RBI to his total. It's 2-0 Trinity as they add another run. We'll head to the top of the 6th on Tiger Network. Top of the 6th inning, Jackson Tier back on the mound as he faces the top of this TLU order in Vasquez. You know, we received an interesting comment in the chat. We don't normally listen to comments in the chat, so don't get any ideas based on this one-time anomaly. But there's a question, are the commentators on the roof of the adjacent building? The answer is yes. Yes, we are. We are somewhat behind home plate. We have a table set up here on the roof of the Bell Center, and we are overlooking the field. Grounded down the third base line, foul. This is a serious upgrade from what we've had in the past. We were in one of the classrooms in the Bell Center watching the game on monitors the past several years. Not the case anymore. We're here seeing the action live in front of us, and even though the wind howls through our microphones and the sun is above us, it is so much better to actually be at the ball game.
Yeah, it certainly is. Still, not quite the press box, but it's our press box. Should slap a piece of paper saying Tiger Network press box right on this table.
Some walls would be nice. I don't deny that, but this is a good setup. We appreciate our executive producer, Josh Michigemba, for putting this all together for us, making this transition from the classroom to the roof of the Bell Center. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss from Vasquez. Lazara has to throw the first, and he does so for out number 1. 10th strikeout of the day for Jackson Tier.
Yeah, 10K day for Tier. He is still working it, even with very high pitch counts so far, nearly north of the 90 mark. But he's still working it. And, you know, if you're on the ground, if you wave to us up here, I'll wave back. I promise that, if I notice you.
That's a promise. You can't break that now.
Yeah, no, I can't.
Yeah, you have to be looking now. As Tier faces Hayden Kesselring, 0 for 2 today. Reached on an error and struck out. Now ahead 2-0. There's a lot of people that could wave at you today. There's a very good crowd. I mentioned it earlier, but the bleachers and the seats behind home plate almost full, at least from our vantage point. Strike called. I think it's always nice when we have a large crowd on hand. I've always felt that we need more of a ball game culture at the university, and it feels like it's coming back. It really does.
Yeah, and I think we've had better crowds this year than in years past. And, this team definitely deserving of it. Been playing some really good baseball this season.
Pitch away, and he loses Kesselring. Only the second walk issued by Jackson Tier of the game.
We saw the same thing with Beard yesterday, where it was kind of an anomaly how many batters he walked. Tier's not a pitcher who walks too many batters either. The Bulldogs able to stay patient.
Now he faces Xavier Arias. Third baseman, 0 for 2 today. As we'll check on Kesselring at first, back safely. Tigers out hitting the Bulldogs 5-1 today, but this game's still very much in reach for TLU. Runner goes, throw from Lazara, high, not in time. A stolen base for Hayden Kesselring, a runner in scoring position for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, important situation now for TLU with the runner in scoring position. They wipe the double play opportunity off the table. Of course, unless something odd happens. But it's really, really good for TLU. Because, of course, one swing of the bat changes this game.
Tier throws off the backside, gets away, but Baker able to secure it at short. Lucky bounce for the Tigers.
Yeah, very lucky bounce. Saw with Jonathan Newman yesterday. Pickoff attempt at second, sailing into center field. We know how bad it can be sometimes.
Arias still yet to see his first pitch. Here it is, swing and a miss, strike 1. I think the most impressive thing for Jonathan Newman yesterday, all unearned runs, his ERA still lowered. Now at .33 coming into the game. A rough inning, but no earned runs charged to his name. Pitch misses, brings the count to 1 apiece.
Yeah, and right now, Tier just trying to get through the 6th inning. I have to imagine after this one, he probably done, considering his pitch count nearing 100.
Strike, it's 2-2.
trying to finish it on a strong note. It's been a good day. 10 Ks. It's just another day at the office for Jackson Tier.
Tier shaking off a pitch from his catcher. He's seen that happen a few times today. Runner goes and grounded past the dive of Tinker. Kesselring will come around to score. It's 2-1.
Yeah, first run of the day for the Bulldogs. And Tinker, I think, just missed playing it a little bit. Curious to see how it looks on a replay. But a good piece of hitting, first of all. And it looks like Tinker at first went the wrong direction for a moment. He started in the wrong direction. Yeah, and you can see it there and had to dive back. Looks like he went to cover third. And that's going to cost a run to come in. A mental mistake by Tinker. But fortunate for the Bulldogs.
So now the cleanup hitter, Adam Peavy. Opportunity with one out and a runner on first. Cleanup hitter 0 for 2 today. Struck out both times swinging. Lazara throws back to first. Tag not applied in time.
And now that TLU's reaching into the pinch hitters. It's an interesting dynamic. Batters that haven't seen Tier just yet.
Pinch hitter helping still in an 0-2 count. Pitch away, 1-2.
Yeah, good take. It's so difficult to take the breaking ball sometimes from Jackson Tier. Bulldogs just really good at staying patient today. You know, sometimes it is as small as, you know, think a routine play, you head over to third.
Swing and a miss, that's strike 3. No, didn't go. I thought for sure he went around from here, able to check his swing. It evens the count at 2-2.
See on the replay.
Pitch just misses, 3-2, and Tier frustrated with these last 2 calls.
Yeah, it seems that the umpire's willing to give the batters the benefit of the doubt. It's been a rough day for the pitchers on both sides, really.
There's strike 3, got him on the outside edge. The 11th strikeout for Jackson Tier, and there's 2 down in the 6th.
I think perhaps that may be a curtain call for Jackson Tier. His pitching coach, Dave Smith, heads out to the mound.
Tier currently through 5.2 innings of work has only allowed the 1 earned run on the day. 11 strikeouts, only 2 walks. And Reed, there is action in the pen, but it doesn't look like anybody's come to the door, and it will still be Jackson Tier on the mound.
They're willing to let him keep going. At 108 pitches right now. I'm not sure the longest Tier has gone before. Don't usually see him go over 100 all too often.
He did have a complete game in that Whitewater series, where he struck out 20. Pitch outside. If my memory serves me correctly, I think he was at around 120 in that complete game. So we know he has the length to go at least that far. There's strike 1. Facing Carson Drain, 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts. Pitch away, 2-1. You know, Reed, that might be part of the logic for why he's staying in this part of the order. Peavy at the time in the 4 spot and Carson Drain in the 5 spot. 4 strikeouts between the two of them. Inside edge, strike 2.
Great pitch that looped into the zone. And of course, opportunity to leave Tyler Post as just a leadoff batter in the next inning. You can get the out here.
2-2 pitch, 2 down in the inning. Outside, another full count.
The wind blowing as it is. Certainly don't want Post coming up in a runner in scoring position situation.
Runner goes. Grounded softly. It's going to be tough, and no play made by Harris. It'll go as a base hit for Carson Drain, and here comes Tyler Post with 2 on.
Yeah, unfortunate for Jackson Tier. Generated the weak contact, but just bouncing over his head. Bulldogs get to see another AB, and certainly the guy they want at the plate right now.
When I talked to Coach Palmer about Tyler Post, that's exactly what he said. The guy we want in these situations. He takes strike 1. The other thing he added on, the last guy other teams want to see in these situations. We'll see if that rings true. Post 0 for 2. Struck out and grounded out. Tier throws off the backside, or bluffs it. One-0 pitch. Outside, 2-0.
Trying to get Post to chase right now. Certainly a tightrope act when you're facing Tyler Post.
The reigning SCAC pitcher of the year versus the reigning SCAC player of the year. Inside, 3-0.
First Tier has gotten the better of him 2 times so far, but I think Post may be en route to win this bout.
There is action in the Tiger bullpen. We'll see if this is Tier's last batter. In the dirt, ball 4, and that loads the bases.
Now the pressure is on for Jackson Tier. Bases loaded situation. The fortunate thing is that you have a force out at every base. Of course, the unfortunate thing is that if Bourgeois is able to put anything into the outfield, it is a threat to clear the bases.
Bourgeois 0 for 1, hit by a pitch the last time he was up. Takes ball 1 high.
And Tier now struggling to find the zone a little bit, struggling with the command. It's 5 straight balls now.
The 4-pitch walk to Post, now 1-0. 2-0.
Tier just resettling in on himself. Of course, you cannot walk here. That would drive in the tying run.
And now they'll have a talk. Nick Lazera coming out to the mound, possibly to buy some time. Difficult to see from here who's warming in the pen. I would assume it's Will Hellings, who didn't throw yesterday. Tier trying to give the next guy the lead. If this inning extends, there will be no lead. Wind ripping even harder to left. Bourgeois ahead 2-0, the base is loaded. Hit to Harris, a bobble, a stumble, throws to first. In time, no, it gets Pyam. 1 run comes in, another. 2 on the board for TLU, they lead 3-2.
Yeah, and that play just ate up Colt Harris. It's going to go down as an error on him. And the throw to first just getting past Holloway as well, unable to pick the throw that he gave him. And that allows TLU to take the lead. It is just a frustrating situation for the Tigers. And Tier, there's a conversation right now. See how much longer they leave him out there.
There's somebody coming out from the pen. It looks like that'll be the day for Jackson Tier. leaves this game in the 6th inning. And TLU now has the lead. A 3-run inning as they take a 3-2 lead. New arm on the hill for Trinity. Welcome back. Top of the 6th inning. 3 runs in this inning for TLU. They've taken a 3-2 lead. It's Godot in for Texas Lutheran, who's not done yet. New arm on the mound for Trinity. It's Will Hellings. Comes into this game with 4 saves on the season. This not a save situation. So if he remains in the game the rest of the way and the Tigers come back, he will earn the win. Trying to clean up the mess. High 1-1.
The name of the game for Will Hellings is certainly velocity. Of course, I haven't gone down and radar gunned every Tiger pitcher, but it's safe to say that Will Hellings, one of the hardest throwers for this pitching staff.
Grounded foul, 1-2. Hellings comes into this game with a 3.22 ERA, a win-loss record of 1-0. This is his 12th appearance. Did not throw in yesterday's game. Normally it would be Hellings taking over for Joseph Shavana on Friday, but the Tigers did not have the lead. Fought off, still 1-2. An error from Colt Harris, allowing 2 runners to score. Unclear whether the second error was given to Harris or if Holloway got an error for not securing the throw. Fouled back into the screen. We'll do it again at 1-2. Either way, TLU takes the 3-2 lead. That's exactly what we were talking about yesterday with this winning streak that TLU's been on. Now 8 in a row, counting yesterday's game. Making plays in certain moments. Those are the differences in the games. 1-2 pitch. Fights it off again, making Hellings work.
Making him work, having the wind at his back. The velo Hellings has. Just getting good contact on a ball and sending it in to left field. It'll always be a dangerous situation.
The 1-2 again. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Hellings gets out of the jam, leaves two stranded, but TLU takes the 3-2 lead. We'll head to the bottom of the sixth. Trinity finds themselves in a one-run hole. Bottom of the sixth at Trinity University. 3-2, TLU has the lead in this battle of conference rivals. Catcher Nick Lazera out for the third time today. He's 1 for 2. Base hit in the first, flew out to right the last time he was up. And Reed, the situation has changed quite a bit. The Tigers now need a run.
Yeah, they've been leading for the entirety of this one. Now in the trailing situation. Taylor still on the mound for the Bulldogs. Pitch count around A7. Just still going. And once again, they're just content to keep him out there. See how long he goes. Bulldogs really relying on their starting pitching.
Starting pitching very consistent all year. Now on a 2-1 count. Pitch lands for strike 2. Talked about Taylor's ERA at the top of the broadcast. 3.19 coming into this game. And of course, Brendan Beard, a 2.42 ERA. Good frame attempt by Green, but no dice, 3-2.
They now really working the count against Taylor. Just really want to force the Bulldogs to dig into the bullpen.
Fought off. In the air. Could be trouble, and it is! It falls. Lazera content to stay at first base. Found the Bermuda Triangle, and the leadoff man's aboard.
Yeah, Bermuda Triangle is right. 3, almost 4 Bulldogs ranging in to possibly make a play, but just fell in between them. And Lazara getting on base runner for the Tigers. That's what they need right now. And certainly who you want up at the plate.
And there will be a pinch runner. Nick Lazara's day is done. It'll be Jarrett Phillips taking over on first base. They were hesitant to pinch run him before in these last few weeks because was one of the only healthy outfielders they had. They had, I believe, 4 or 5 available. Now with Ty Preston and Maddox McDonald back, they can pinch run Phillips.
Yeah, pitch running Lazara too. Will likely bring out Matthias Riding to catch once we get back to the Tigers being on defense.
Now Christian Holloway. Takes strike 1. Holloway 0 for 2 today. He's flown out both times. This is second game back from an injury he was dealing with. Kept him out of action the last 2 weeks. Ball 1.
And it's always a bit tough to pitch run for your catcher. because catcher is one of the most specialized positions in the game. Not too many people can catch, but luckily for the Tigers, they got two capable.
Even more capable now is Matt McNaney back from his injury. Broke his wrist right before the season started, missed the first 6 weeks of the year. First game back last Tuesday, had an RBI single, so we'll see if it's him or Riding that comes in. Grounded up the middle, good diving play at short, throw to first, in time, a double play. What a play by Bourgeois at short. Ranging over, they get two.
I mean, sound like a broken record at this point, but Gold Glovers, all of them. I mean, that was a crazy dive to stop a hit that it looked like it hit up the middle. It really did. And to snag it and turn it into 2 outs, just such a momentum swinger in favor of the Bulldogs.
Alex Monson takes strike one on the outside edge. Monson 1 for 2 today, singled his first time up, grounded out to second the last time. Now all of a sudden 2 outs and nobody on. Monson rips it to left, to right, it falls. Bobble in the outfield, and Monson digging in for 2. Slides in safely. Should be a single and an error for Alex Monson. All of a sudden another runner in scoring position.
A great swing by Monson. We've seen a couple of bobbles in the outfield today. That one coming back to bite the outfielder ultimately. Of course, now with a runner in scoring position, really got to bring this run in, tie the game up.
Colt Harris will try to do that. 0 for 2 today. Fouls it off to the right, out of play.
For the Tigers, you got to get the thought out of your mind of what if we did have that runner at second? What if that was a hit? Got to focus on the moment now.
A 1 pitch. Breaking ball, not quite. Looked good from here, but not to the umpire, 1-1.
And Taylor, similar to Tier, wanting to just get out of the inning. Pitch count almost over 100 for himself. I'm sure he's not trying to match Beard.
Popped up. Taylor vacates, and the catch is made. That ends the inning, still 3-2. TLU has the lead. We'll head to the top of the 7th when we come back on Tiger Network. Nine-hole hitter leads off the inning, top of the 7th. Will Hellings back out there for Trinity as that pitch is fouled off for strike 1. Hellings facing Chance Green, who struck out twice against Jackson Tier. Very different situation than what he normally comes into. Talked about it earlier, the closer. But now trying to hold the deficit for Trinity.
That's got to be frustrating for the Tigers. The hit disparity. Tigers have out-hit the Bulldogs 7-3. The Bulldogs currently in the lead.
3 errors on the day for Trinity. Once again, they had 4 yesterday. Very uncharacteristic defensive lapses for the Tigers in these last 2 games. They've cost them. Hit hard to center, but Peterson under it. He makes the catch for out number 1.
A good way to get the first out. Just easy, clean, simple out to get. And for Hellings, more often than not, he's been able to work quickly through innings and get batters out. Only remember in recent memory, one time he's been in a jam. That was against Concordia.
Pitch just outside, ball 1. It was a Tuesday game against Concordia. Tigers were trying to earn their first Tuesday victory in almost 2 years. Comes out in a 3-1 ball game, loads the bases. Eventually gets out of the inning unscathed. Tigers win the game. Now 2-0 to the leadoff man Vasquez, and 3-0. The one thing we've brought up frequently on prior broadcasts with Will Hellings is the velocity. If you can get a barrel to the ball, it will go far. There's strike 1.
Yeah, he put that one right down Main Street. Just get a strike on the board. But yeah, with high velo pitchers, really good in the fact that you can blow it past them, but also a double-edged sword in a way.
Fouled back, 3-2 as Hellings battles back in the count.
Of course, with the wind blowing like it is right now, it'd be easy to see why the velo may be a bit extra dangerous if it does meet the barrel of a bat.
Wind looks like it's blowing to left right now. Lined that way and past Baker. Vasquez has his second hit of the game, and TLU has a runner on with 1 down in the inning.
Yeah, and you just want to keep the pressure on these Tiger pitchers. Keep getting runners on. Just keep working your game. Just because it's a new guy on the mound, it does not change their philosophy of being tenacious.
It's now Kesselring up. 0 for 3 today. Or I should say 0 for 2 with a walk. Ball in the dirt. It's 1-0. Defensive substitution for the Tigers. Nick Lazera being pinch run for, and it is Matthias Riding, the first year coming into the game. Inside 2-0.
And Riding very sound defensively behind the plate. It's good to have depth at the catcher position, and the Tigers certainly have it now.
Inside 3-0. So Hellings in danger of allowing back-to-back base runners to reach. Red light situation, takes strike 1.
It's simple to see why. If you're confident Hellings isn't going to give you a strike more often than not, then there's no reason to swing.
Check on the runner at first, dives back safely. But this game important in the conference standings. Trinity battling with Centenary for the top spot in the conference. Centenary came into today, I believe, 10-2. Trinity 10-3. Inside ball 4, Hellings loses them.
And now Centenary will be 11-3. They dispatched St. Thomas over in Houston at Constellation Field today, 7-3. Have another meeting on the mound. Probably just to calm down Will Hellings, as he's been a bit wild in these past couple of bats.
Pitching coach Dave Smith coming out. It's been an uncharacteristic series as a whole for the Tiger pitching. I mean, we saw Jackson Tier towards the end of his outing today just not look like himself, even though he got into a groove in those middle frames. Joseph Shavana, rough start to his outing, though he settled in. And now Will Hellings allowing back-to-back base runners. Now he faces Xavier Arias. 1 for 3 today. Base hit the last time he was up. Waves at that for strike 1. But getting back to the conference, TLU, I believe 8-5 yesterday with their win against Trinity in the 3rd spot in the conference standings. Southwestern getting the win yesterday, correct?
Yep, got the win yesterday, and they got a win today.
So now 8-6, they would fall to a dead tie with a loss today.
Yeah, Southwestern mollywopped Shriner, 14-4. A lot of dangerous teams in this conference.
Hellings ahead 0-2. Went around. Yes, he did. Strike 3. 2 outs on the board for Will Hellings. A big strikeout there.
A bit of a delayed reaction on the call. Thought they were going to check an appeal over to the umpire at first. Nope. You're just out.
Two outs on the board, 2 on. Foul back at the top of the screen. It's the pinch hitter helping still. Was put in the game for Adam Peavy. He's 0 for 1, struck out against Jackson Tier. It's his first appearance against Will Hellings. In the dirt, it gets away. Riding will not throw, and both runners advance.
And once again, Bulldogs just threatening to score again. And, you know, pinch hitting for PV. Had a rough game yesterday. Today was not as big of a sample size, but still very limited success. Makes sense to see why Helpin coming into the spot.
In the dirt again, a good block by Riding.
Just got to work carefully now, because another wild pitch will definitely bring in a run.
Away, 3-1. Carson Drain waits on deck. A walk would load the bases with 2 outs.
There's no movement in the Tiger bullpen, so this is Will Hellings' situation to figure out.
Strike called.
It's another time where Bulldog thought they had drawn the walk just for a strike call to make them retrieve the bat. Really trying to sell the walk call, perhaps. Or
Wind ripping to center. 3-2 pitch. Ball 4, and they can't believe it. Outside edge again. That loads the bases. Second walk allowed by Will Hellings of the inning, and it didn't have to be.
it's just unfortunate for the Tigers, but a good moment for the Bulldogs. It's one of those moments where bad for them, good for me. You'll take it where you can get them if you're TLU.
Bases loaded. There's a strike. Chris Dren up. 1 for 3 today. Singled the last time he was up. Struck out the other 2 times.
And perhaps TLU still holding that grievance for the missed ball call. Getting back at the Tigers here with that one. It's just another sticky situation for Will Hellings and a Tiger pitcher.
Now with the bases loaded, Matthias Riding will come out to talk to Hellings. The transfer from Odessa College. This is his first year with the Tigers. He's had such a good season. 4 saves on the year, 3 away from being the national leader. But now in a situation just trying to hold this 1-run deficit. 3 runners on the base pads for TLU, trying to erase them and give his offense a chance. On the TLU side of things, we'll see if it'll be JT Taylor coming back out onto the mound for his 7th inning of work. But first, a bases loaded situation. 1-1 pitch. Grounded. Baker throws to third. They don't get him. The Tiger dugout erupted, thinking they got the out. The tag not applied in time. A run scores from third. It's 4-2.
Now we'll see on the replay here, the throw from Baker. It's a close play. May have got him. May have gotten a hand in. Either way, it's a good play by Baker to stop that ball from rolling into the outfield, or else could have possibly put this game way out of hand.
Now Tyler Post trying to do exactly that. Post 0 for 2 against his high school teammate Jackson Tier with a walk. Comes into this situation with the bases loaded, up 2. Can put it away for TLU.
Yeah, we talk about in sports a lot the concept of being due. Certainly not the guy you want to be due when he's up with bases loaded in a high-pressure situation.
Strike called, outside edge. Hellings trying to battle back. Got the weak contact he wanted, just in the wrong spot. Baker making a great play at short, trying to get the force at third. Popped up. Maybe playable. Tinker losing it, has to track back. It falls and foul ground. And you got to think the wind had something to do with that.
Yeah, certainly. When the wind starts to blow, the pop-ups start to not be as free. And unfortunately for Kai Tinker, tracking it, looks like a gust of wind just blew it to the right. Had to try and make a diving play on it. Seen it a couple times. Bite the Bulldogs and the Tigers, this wind has.
Now the 2-2 pitch. It hit him. Hit by pitch to Post. It scores a run. 5-2 Bulldogs.
And you can't just help but feel like the momentum is just overwhelming for TLU now. They've been doing everything right this inning, and for the Tigers, almost feels as if everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. It's led to a rough stretch where Bulldogs are starting to put up 2-3 spots in back-to-back innings.
Strike 1 to Bourgeois. Reached on an error the last time he was up. He's also struck out and been hit by a pitch. Check swing, ball 1. Back-to-back runs coming in on bases loaded situations, 2 in this inning. Against the Tigers closer, Will Hellings. Comes into this game trying to hold the deficit, hasn't been able to so far. Now 2-1.
It's just another rough situation. Play at third. On that replay, almost looked like maybe Tinker wasn't on third base to force that force out, just a little bit off of it.
Fouled back, 2-2.
It's just been a strange series for the Tigers overall. Just a lot of uncharacteristic things happening.
Wind blowing as hard as it's been. Directly into left field. Reed, hold your laptop. 2-2 pitch. Hit in the air. Harris there. He makes the catch. The inning ends, but TLU notches in 2 more runs. It's 5-2 Bulldogs. TLU trying to take the series. Bottom of the 7th, JT Taylor back on the mound for TLU, in line for the victory. He fires strike 1 to Kai Tinker. Tinker 0 for 2, struck out the last time he was out. Ball 1.
And now Taylor with this pitch count above 100. Just workhorses, all of these TLU starting pitchers.
Lined, not caught, but the quick trip to the bag gets the out.
Man, just talk about unfortunate for Kai Tinker. Hit it right back to Taylor. Scary play, but Taylor able to get the glove on it and give the shovel toss over to first baseman Tyler Post. That's a quick out to get.
Now Jack Baker, the shortstop, up. 0 for 2, he's flown out both times. Reed for that last at-bat. I think all there is to say is that's just how it's going.
Well, it's just baseball sometimes.
Pitch away, 2-0. Now 3-0. Trinity needs base runners, potentially 1 pitch away from getting one here. Ball 4, loses them in 4 pitches.
A great AB for Jack Baker. I'm trying to recall what pitch count Beard was at this point in the game. I wonder how effective working the count actually is for these TLU starting pitchers, given the recent patterns we've been seeing.
That's fair to question it, but the point is made. Looked like this is going to be the day for JT Taylor. Hug with his catcher, and it will be. A pitching change for TLU. Who could it be now when we come back? First pitching change of the series for TLU. It's Nolan McKinval in for the Bulldogs, trying to hold on to this lead. Comes in with a runner on first and one down in the inning. He faces the 9-hole hitter, Maddox McDonald, 1 for 2 today. Or 1 for 1, I should say. He singled the last time he was up and walked before that. Strike called.
Yeah, with Baker on first base, McDonald, bat that's been getting on base reliably in this one so far. Suppose TLU once again worried about the hit and run, checking on Baker that much.
You think with the inconsistency of the Tigers being able to hit the ball, they would try and move runners over however they can. TLU looks like they're thinking the same thing. As McDonald waves at that last pitch, he's down 0-2. TLU trying to secure a series victory. Won the series last season between these two teams in Seguin. And that gets McDonald. A hit by pitch, he moves to first base. Baker on to second as the order flips over. Jack Peterson due next.
Oh, geez, McDonald might get the cycle for ways to get on base. Hit, walk, hit by pitch. What are we missing? Catcher's interference?
Catcher's interference, drop strike 3. Just an error, generally. I believe there's 7 ways you can get on base. See if Jack Peterson can find one of them here. 0 for 3 today. Dreaded hat trick. He struck out all 3 times. 2 swinging and 1 looking. Has to duck out of the way of that pitch. All counts the same. 1-0.
Wants to exchange the ball. See a pitcher do that sometimes. Haven't been throwing well with this ball, so like another.
Yeah, it's got to be the ball's fault. See if this ball works. 2-0.
There's always a lot of superstitions when you go into the sports world. Rally caps and all that.
Outside 3-0. Beginning of the year, these Tigers tried to grow out mustaches for what they called mojo. They wanted mojo with the bats. They tried to get it with the mustaches. Worked against Babson. They were 3-0, swept the opening series, and then they gave up 30 runs in 2 games to Whitewater, and the mustaches went away. That's ball 4, a 4-pitch walk back-to-back. Base runners allowed. And they're juiced, full with cats, with 1 down in the inning.
Yeah, it's certainly a tough situation for Nolan, the pitcher on the mound for the Bulldogs. And now another bat who's been quite effective today for the Tigers.
Caleb Woodward, 2 for 3 today, a home run and a single, 2 RBI. The only 2 RBI of this game. And we're gonna have a meeting. That'll be the day. They'll take the baseball. New pitcher coming in for TLU when we come back. Bases loaded for Trinity, down 3. New pitcher in the game for TLU. It's Johnny Garza Jr., the senior and a native of San Antonio, Texas, comes in to his 11th game of the year. Comes in with a 3-1 record, a 2.34 ERA. His last appearance was at the end of March. He threw 7 innings against Austin College. Allowed 3 walks, had 4 strikeouts, and no earned runs. A mess to clean up here. Bases loaded for Caleb Woodward. Ball 1 way high.
Yeah, TLU certainly adamant about shutting down the Tigers and getting this series win. Putting in some of their best bullpen arms to try and get the job done.
Strike 1. Cat on every base. Baker on third, McDonald at second, Peterson waits on first. And Caleb Woodward in the batter's box. Good pitch, inside edge, does not get the call. Pitchers have been squeezed on that side of the plate all day, and it continues there. There's ball 3. Nowhere to put him. Three-one count for Woodward. Matthias Riding waits on deck. Fouled off. Now a full count.
You can't help but feel that this may be the biggest moment for the game for the Tigers. You got the bases loaded. You got a guy who's hot with the bat going against a reliever.
Trinity trying to get to this TLU bullpen. Fouled off, stays alive. Tigers have been getting hits all game, 7 of them. Just not timely ones. Only 1 runner from scoring position brought in today. 3-2 pitch, 1 down in the inning. There's ball 4. That scores a run.
Yeah, what an AB by Caleb Woodward. He's just so calm for a freshman. Other freshmen may swing at that pitch or swing or not even get into that count at all, that full count. But his patience, how good he is, his baseball IQ gets his team a run.
Still the bases loaded with 1 down. Now a 5-3 game. Another first year coming to the plate. It's Matthias Riding. Took over for Nick Lazera in the catcher's position. Riding takes ball 1. 4 straight walks allowed by TLU pitching. Ball 2. Or I should say 3 walks and a hit by pitch in the last 4 batters. All of them, the relievers, the only 4 batters these 2 relievers have faced. Starting pitching for TLU has done so well. The bullpen trying to finish the job. Riding ahead 2-0. There's ball 3.
And this is a big AB because Matthias Riding, certainly not the hitter that Nick Lazara is, defensive specialist behind the plate. So if he can draw a walk, that is huge for the Tigers.
Strike 1. Garza needed that. Holloway waits on deck. He's the cleanup man. Riding trying to find a way on. Strike 2. Count full again.
Yeah, good strike in the lower part of the zone. Really forcing the issue with Riding. He may have to take the bat off his shoulders.
We'll see if this settles Garza in. Back-to-back strikes. Fouled off, we'll do it again. McDonald on third, Peterson on second, now Woodward on first. Matthias riding. One swing could tie this game. 3-2 pitch. Fouled off. He'll see another.
It's such a big moment for Matthias Riding. Opportunity to drive another run or tie the game. Or if he hits it right enough, give his team the lead.
Ball 4. Another walk drawn by the Tigers. McDonald scores from third. This is 5-4.
Just two spectacular ABs. Back to back. Caleb Woodward, Matthias Riding, the two freshmen could have easily just succumbed to the pressure, but no, fighting back, drawing those walks, pulling the game closer and closer for the Tigers. And now they bring up the senior to try and get the lead for the Tigers.
Now in a 5-4 game, Christian Holloway. 0 for 3 today, grounded into a double play the last time he was up. TLU could sure use another. Ball one way high. And you can just hear the energy coming from this Tiger dugout. Just feel the flip. All the yelling and cheering coming from the right side of home plate before in the visitors' dugout. Not so much anymore. As Coach Palmer will come out for a visit. There is an arm warming up. And this could be the day for Garza. Bases loaded, still one out and a 1-0 count. And so far, just the chat. We've seen the action in the pen. But no motion being made yet, and Garza will stay out there.
And they're willing to let him try and get out of this jam. It's been a strange way the Tigers have been scoring. It's just been very good ABs. More self-inflicted wounds by the TLU bullpen, which is, I think, what the Tigers wanted. Once you dig into that bullpen, start attacking them there, since their starting pitching is really, really good.
That's what they were trying to do last night until Brendan Beard threw 161 pitches. Now into this bullpen. Holloway takes ball 2, and you see why maybe they wanted to get there. Definitely the better of these two options for who to face.
Yeah, and there were so many points where we thought, okay, Beard, done now. At 140, can't go anymore. And then he throws 20 more pitches.
Strike called. Now 2-1. Sacrifice fly could tie the game for Christian Holloway. Holloway close to the team lead in RBIs with 21. Close pitch. 3-1 though. It doesn't hit the zone.
Yeah, I tried to loop the breaking ball into the upper part of the zone. Umpire says you didn't catch it. Batters count for the cleanup hitter.
Walk ties the game. Fouled off. 3 consecutive full counts.
They're living on the edge right now, Cole. So many full counts, so many high-pressure situations, but they live in them.
See if Holloway can come through. 3-2. Fouled off. This has got to be so frustrating for Johnny Garza. So many opportunities and good pitches and 2 strike situations that are just being fought off. We do the full count again. Hit in the air, deep to left. Catch is made at the warning track. Runner tags from third, he scores. This game is tied.
A lot of noise coming from the Tiger faithful. Way to tie up the game for Christian Holloway. Put a lot of muscle into that one. But so good on Godot for making that catch. That was not an easy play on left. That could have easily cleared the bases if that had gone awry. But still, ties up the game. That's what Holloway wanted to do.
Similar to a leaping catch he had in yesterday's game. Limits that to a sacrifice fly. This game now tied at 5 as the DH Alex Monson takes strike 1. Now 2 outs on the board, runners on first and second. A 3-run inning for Trinity, tying this game at 5. No longer cooked. Two down in the inning. Outside gets the call. And it's 0-2.
And perhaps not having a runner on third, maybe just a little less pressure for Garza on the mound.
Grounded to short. They'll take the force at second to end the inning, but Trinity does what they need to do. They tie the game at 5. We'll take it to the top of the 8th on Tiger Network. This, a new ball game. Will Hellings back out there for the top of the 8th in a new situation. 5-5 ball game. As he locates strike 1 to Godot. Godot 0 for 2 today, still hitting .350 on the year. He's also walked. Swing and a miss, strike 2. And the big question for the Tigers now that they've tied the game, can Will Hellings settle in? It was not a good inning for him last time, but we've seen what he can do over the course of the season. So far, a good start. In the dirt, 1-2.
Yeah, it's been tough for really every pitcher today, other than Jackson Tier and Taylor for a couple of innings. It's been rough goings for all the pitchers that have come in. It's just been one of those kinds of games, hasn't it?
Division III baseball at its finest. Chopped to short. Baker, another strong throw. This one not in time. It'll go down as a base hit for Godot and the leadoff man aboard for TLU.
Yeah, it's that speed he has as an outfielder helping him there. Baker has a strong arm. If it would have been perhaps Tyler Post or one of the infielders, may have gotten them just barely. But despite Holloway's stretch, just couldn't get him in time.
Now Chance Green, 0 for 3 today. With 2 strikeouts, squares up to bunt, drops down a decent one. Fakes to second, trying to get the lead man, throws to first. Holloway able to tiptoe on the bag to get out number 1, but the sacrifice is complete.
Very, very wise not to throw to second there. I almost thought he was going to. He faked me out, then spun around through to first very wisely.
Well, that's something they work on pretty consistently, when to be aggressive and get the lead runner. Hellings thought he had a shot at it, but wisely takes the easy out at first. Does move the leading run into scoring position for TLU. Setting the table for the top of the order. Vasquez up for the 5th time today. He's 2 for 4. He has 2 base hits. Pitch away, 2-0.
Vasquez has been having a good series so far. I believe 3 for 5 yesterday. Now 2 for 4 today. He's been effective as their leadoff man.
2-0 from Hellings. Fouled back over our heads, and it's 2-1. TLU once again finds themselves in a gritty, competitive game. They've had so many of them recently. 2 walk-off wins last weekend against Schreiner. Comeback win against Austin College the week before that. Hit hard but foul. It's 2-2. That's been a big part of this winning streak. The Bulldogs know how to execute in close games.
Certainly, and they've proven that time and time again. These foul balls have been pretty good contact, so Vasquez is trying to get the right timing against Hellings.
Away, and it's 3-2.
With Hellings working with that runner at his back, that is the go-ahead run for the Bulldogs, really trying to bring in Godot.
Swing and a miss, that's strike 3. 2 down in the inning.
And that was a strong swing from Vasquez as well. Really wanting to barrel that one, but just couldn't find the ball. Really big second out of the inning.
Pitching coach Dave Smith coming out to talk to his reliever. There is some action in the pen, but I can't imagine Hellings being taken out in this situation, given his body of work throughout the year. Now it doesn't get any easier up next. Hayden Kesselring has walked the last 2 times he's been up.
Good to have a conversation with your pitcher. Make sure the game plan is known, what to do when this guy comes up to bat. Coach Smith does a great job every year with the pitching staff, and this year is no different.
Trying to leave the runner stranded. Strike 1. Go ahead run on second for TLU. Misses, it's 1-1.
I mean, you do have a bat like Kesselring, who has only reached via the walk so far. See how aggressive they are against him.
Takes that pitch, it's 2-1.
They're trying to get him to chase on the breaking balls right now. But it is Kesselring that finds himself ahead in the count.
Grounded to Baker at short. Makes the play that ends the inning. Still tied at 5. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Stay tuned on Tiger Network. This is a good one. Bottom of the 8th in a 5-5 game. Johnny Garza Jr. back on the mound for TLU. As he faces Colt Harris, who takes ball 1. A rough start to the inning for Johnny Garza, but seemed to settle in as it went along. But not before the game was tied. Harris lofts that to right field. Drain under it, and he makes the catch for out number 1.
That's a good way to start the inning. Last inning obviously did not go very well for the Bulldogs, as turbulent and whipping as the wind on top of the Bell Center is. That is the pitching experience right now for both sides.
Kai Tinker up now. Takes strike 1. The third baseman 0 for 3 today. This is his first time facing a reliever for TLU. Takes strike 2. His previous 3 at-bats were against the starting pitcher, JT Taylor. Did not have a lot of success against him. We'll see if that changes. 0-2 pitch. Has to duck, and it's 1-2.
And once again, just trying to get on base however he can. It was unfortunate last time he gave it right to Taylor.
Just missed, 2-2. You'd assume the game plan is to just get the tying run on and bring it over somehow. And then give it to Hellings to shut the door, which he's done so well with all year. Tinker rips it to left, but it's right to Godot, who makes the catch for out number 2.
A great contact on the ball, just unfortunate that it was right to Godot. It's the contact you do want to see your batters having, because it shows that you can see the pitcher. It's just now you need to really start aiming for the gaps. But yeah, good contact by Kai Tinker.
Brings up Jack Baker, 0 for 2 today. Walked the last time he was up. Takes ball 1. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Baker hitless today, but he's been so impressive defensively throughout, making so many strong throws. Very alert at shortstop. He told me at the beginning of the year he wanted to play shortstop when he was in high school. Takes strike 2 to make it 1-2. But the guy they had at his high school ended up going to Texas A&M, so there was really no spot for him on that high school team. Now gets to play shortstop in his senior season. Close pitch. Oh, and it's 2-2 now.
Yeah, very close pitch in the lower part of the zone.
Fouled back, out of play. Now 2-2 again. Baker working with nobody out, with nobody on, and 2 outs. Now ball 3.
Now we'll see what he can bake up here. Inning has gone very well for Garza so far.
Strike 3, Baker goes down looking. Garza, a bounce back inning to keep this game tied. We head to the top of the 9th on Tiger Network, still tied at 5. Top of the ninth in San Antonio. Will Hellings back on the mound trying to hold this tie game. First pitch gets a swing and a miss from Xavier Arias. Arias 1 for 4 today. He's grounded out to short twice, has a base hit, and also struck out the last time he was up. Inside ball 1. Hellings in a much more familiar situation in a tie game as opposed to being down. Swing and a miss, strike 2. If the Tigers were to walk it off in the ninth, Hellings would be in line for the win as of now. It would be his second win of the year. High ball 2. Of course, the other side of that is if he gives up a run, he would be charged with the loss. But that's the give and take with pitching in this situation. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Foul tip into the catcher's glove, and there's one down in the inning.
Yeah, and Arias really frustrated with that one. But man, Will Hellings just pitched all around him. He was hitting some really good locations. Great sequencing there for Will Hellings to get the first out.
First pitch to Helpenstill. Outside ball 1. Hellings looked a little rattled when he came in the top of the 7th, but since he settled in, he looked very good. Locates that pitch for strike 1. Helpenstill 0 for 1. He's walked. Collectively, this position is 0 for 3. Adam Peavy started at DH. He was 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Hit in the air to shallow right. Harris calls and makes the catch for out number 2.
Yeah, 2 away for Hellings now. Trying to work as fast as Garza did in the last frame. It's just really interesting, helping coming in for Peavy. I think it goes to show that TLU, they're not afraid to make changes if something isn't working.
Strike 1 to Carson Drain. Drain 2 for 4 today. Back-to-back base hits after back-to-back strikeouts. Now down 0-2. Hellings going for a 1-2-3 inning. Ripped to right center. Back goes Woodward, makes the catch! Woodward down to his knees, collects the third out of the inning as we head to the bottom of the ninth. Still tied at 5. Tigers a chance to walk it off when we come back. Bottom of the ninth in a 5-5 ball game. Wind ripping to left field, and the man who ended the last inning begins this one. It was Maddox McDonald, not Caleb Woodward, playing in right field today. Able to range over and make the catch, taking away extra bases from Carson Drain. Inside, 2-0.
Garza's got to be careful. Of course, McDonald has been on base every time he's come up, and he's got speed.
Hacks at that one, and it's 2-1.
And it's important to know that it is a walk-up situation if a player hits a home run, but as a batter, you have to have the mentality of get on base.
Outside, 3-1. McDonald is 1 for 1 today, and as you said, he's reached every time he's come up to the plate. A walk, a single, and a hit by pitch in his last appearance. Ball 4. Winning run is aboard. So you would assume the plan here would be to send him, or for Peterson to drop a bunt down.
And Peterson, one of the best bunt artists that the Tigers have as well. So perhaps very fortunate that he is up to bat. We'll see how TLU pitches to Peterson. Try and throw a nasty breaking ball to prevent a bunt.
Runner on first. First pitch to Peterson. Thought about bunting, but pulls it back for ball 1. And it looks like that is the plan. Move McDonald over to second. Peterson 0 for 3 today. He struck out 3 times. He walked the last time he was up. He's also scored a run. Ball 2. So Garza's so good in the last frame that he pitched, but seems to be reverting back to how he started this game. We'll see if he can settle down. He'll check on McDonald.
There is movement in the TLU bullpen. So we'll break glass in case of emergency situation, perhaps.
2-0. Peterson pulls back the bunt. It's strike 1. But going back to the pickoff attempt, Reed, what do you make of that? If that gets away, McDonald's to second with nobody out.
Yeah, it would have been a disaster, but I think just to get Garza to settle down since he had missed the zone a couple times.
He'll try it again. Back safely. Of course, no disengagement rule at the collegiate level. Now 2-1 to the leadoff man, Peterson. Outside, 3-1, in danger of walking back-to-back.
And Garza is certainly hearing the chatter from the Tiger dugout. They're excited. They want to win this one. Get into day 3 with a chance to win the series.
Bunt is dropped down. It's a good one. Arias comes in, makes the throw. They get him at first, but the sacrifice is complete.
Yeah, good bunt laid down. Would have loved to have him on first, but ultimately the job is done. Great throw from Arias to get Peterson at first, because we know how fast Peterson is.
And how fitting is this? 2 RBI already. He's 2 for 3 today. And now an opportunity to walk it off. Caleb Woodward. Woodward to deep right field. Back at the wall. Caught just shy of the warning track. McDonald does tag. He's into third base. The tying run 90 feet, or the winning run 90 feet away.
Yeah, that was a bit of a moonshot by Woodward. And we just saw Drain going back and back and back. And with the wind, you never know how far a ball can carry.
I had to be ready. I apologize if I led some people on there, but in case, we've seen that type of ball get out of here before. Now another first year, Matthias Riding. Pitch away, ball one. 2 outs on the board, a runner at third is Maddox McDonald. Trinity was down 5-2 in this game. TLU was able to battle back from a 2-0 deficit. Trinity with 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th to even it. Strike one. Riding walked the last time he was up. We'll see if he can reach again. Away, 2-1.
Garza pitching carefully, even though not a sacrifice fly situation. Don't want to give up an easy hit. Perhaps a subpar breaking ball over the plate.
Lifted in the air to right. The catch is made, and that sends us to extra baseball. The runner left stranded at third. We're still tied at 5. Top of the 10th when we come back. Extra baseball in San Antonio. We're here for the top of the 10th. Will Hellings back on the mound for Trinity, and Tyler Post set to lead off the inning. No ghost runner at the college level, so we start with a clean sheet. First pitch to Post is away. This is the first extra innings game of the season for Trinity. TLU's had some experience. This is their 5th. Pitch lands for strike one. Texas Lutheran 2-2 in their previous 4 extra innings games. Most recently, a win against Schreiner last weekend. Strike called.
And with Post power, certainly got to be careful if you're Will Hellings. We've talked about the ball to barrel connection from Hellings.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Hellings sends Post back to the dugout, 1 out in the inning.
Yeah, great sequence. Hellings has been really dealing after having some struggles in his entry. Other than that, he has been lights out so far.
Now Bourgeois, the 7-hitter. 0 for 3, flew out the last time he was up. Takes strike 1. He's also reached on an error and been hit by a pitch. Inside 1-1. Tigers last year had at least 1 extra innings game that I'm aware of. They walked it off against Hardin Simmons in the 2nd series of the year. Fouled off, out of play to the right side. It's 1-2.
It's a lot of interesting questions that we can ask. For example, how long can Will Hellings go? He's been in for almost 4 innings now.
Fouled off again. Common occurrence for Hellings despite being labeled as the closer to pitch the last 3 innings of a game. This is stretching the amount that he's usually gone. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The extra work doesn't seem to be hurting him yet. Back-to-back strikeouts for Will Hellings.
Certainly not, even as the pitch count approaches 80 for him. He is still dealing, and he's looking really good.
It's now Godot. 1 for 3 today. Singled the last time he was up. 1 around, strike 1.
And some frustration from Godot on that one. Maybe one he wants back.
Inside edge, strike 2.
Yeah, catching that lower inside corner for that strike. Godot just trying to reevaluate what he's doing now.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Hellings strikes out the side and takes us to the bottom of the 10th. Still tied at 5 in extra innings. Stick around on Tiger Network. Bottom of the 10th, Johnny Garza Jr. back on the mound for TLU, and he faces the cleanup man for Trinity, Christian Holloway. Holloway 0 for 3, but he had a game-tying sacrifice fly RBI the last time he was up. Garza fires strike 1. You know, Reed, the wind has just completely stopped. Of course, now that I say that, it's going to start again. But it was a moment there where it wasn't windy, and I appreciate that. Called strike 1-1.
Yeah, the wind has been on and off as of late. Still being absolutely cooked up here by the sun. Just trying to enjoy the breeze as much as possible without it being an interference.
High and inside, 2-1. We know Garza has some length. His last appearance, 7 innings against Austin College, did not allow an earned run. Hit in the air to deep left field, back at the wall to Trinity and beyond. They grab victory from the jaws of defeat Down 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th. They storm back and walk it off with Christian Holloway's home run.
Yeah, you'll see on the replay, just a breaking ball hanging just a bit too much on the inside. You can't do that to Christian Holloway. Not at this field. Not with that close left field fence. He just crushed it. You knew right off the bat that that one was going to be absolutely rocketed and be gone. And for the Tigers, what a gritty game. You go to extra innings, you get the win, and now you have an opportunity to seal a series win against the Bulldogs tomorrow.
Holloway's 6th home run of the season. It gives him the team lead in that category. We've seen Holloway in so many clutch moments against Babson in Game 2, the hero with a grand slam in the bottom of the 8th in that comeback effort. Now the hero here walking it off in a 6-5 Trinity victory. Will Hellings will get the win in this game. He pitched over 80 pitches, really stretched his limits today.
He really did, and both Tier and Hellings, it's almost odd to say there were only 2 pitchers today because it felt like at any moment there could have been more, but they struck out 18 Bulldogs. They were so effective, and even though the Bulldogs were able to get 5 runs, just never being down but not out, and that's the important thing. That's the key. And for Tier and Hellings to go out there and just do their stuff, even with rough situations, it goes to show just how good this Tiger pitching staff is. For the Bulldogs, it's a tough one to hold. It really is, because that 6th and 7th inning, it felt like all the momentum at that point was going TLU's way, and that this was going to look very similar to last night's game. But the Tigers just able to pull it out.
Trinity evens this series at 1 apiece. The deciding game will be tomorrow at 1 p.m. We really hope that you tune into that one, as it promises to be a good one. Maybe not as good as this one. Hard to promise that, but should be a lot of fun. That's it for us in San Antonio. I'd like to thank everybody who worked so hard in the control room and all of our people behind the camera. And, of course, my partner, Reed Rosales. For everybody here in San Antonio, I'm Cole Isaacson saying so long from One Trinity Place. Tigers walk it off 6-5.